Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live stream called Aligning for Ascension. This is a free and preparatory live stream for a 3-day workshop that we're going to be doing in Glastonbury. I have here with me Jules and Pragreet from Stargate. My name is Asil. I'm with Ascension 1. And we are super excited to be bringing to you an incredible experience that we started last year, first time. And Prageet and Julieanne did an incredible job bringing their Stargate and their community and themselves to Costa Rica. And together we created this mind-blowing experience. I'm still digesting that experience, by the way. So thank you for joining me, Julieanne and Prageet, and we have something interesting for all of you today.
Thank you so much, Asil. It's great to be with you and all of you who are here with us. Today is an Ask Us Anything about Ascension. So we're going to be taking questions, some of which are pre-selected, some of which we'll take live from those of you who are on the live stream. But essentially, the big question today is, what is Ascension? And I think a great way to start is by talking a little bit about our work and what our mission is when we come together, because it is all about ascension.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what's been happening over the last 30 odd years. And humanity is in this process of waking up. It's actually everyone, whether they're aware of it or not, is in an energetic on the planet. And the planet's energy and humanity's energy is gently rising, is gently changing. And the old energetics want to maintain the old way. And this awakening energy wants to bring us into what we're calling ascension, which is basically becoming far more conscious, more aware, recognizing that we have more and more ability to create our own personal reality, and together to create a whole more beautiful reality on the planet as a whole. And so the intention of accelerated ascension is to bring this group of people who are feeling to be a part of this process to accelerate it. Why? Because when there's a group of people coming together with that strong intention, it shifts their own personal reality, but also that push into a higher vibration also affects what's happening on the planet as a whole. So we're bringing humanity with us.
Yeah. And so we all have like a built-in operating system as human beings here on this planet. And we're born into a certain energetic with parents who, most of us, especially those of us who are like my age and older, we're very focused just on the physical. And so although as children we have this like magical sensibility and actually are very sensitive and very alive, we oftentimes like gently learn to just focus on the physical. And so what we do with the Stargate is we have this sacred geometric form that you see behind us, which anchors a higher dimensional energy field that actually vibrates our energy field. And it starts to open up our operating system to the interdimensional doorway within us, because we all have the ability, all of the senses we have to perceive in this physical reality. We actually have the ability to perceive the beyond. And so with these energy fields, it's like we're entangling, we're enhancing our entanglement with the quantum field, and amazing things happening. Not just awakening, but also the realigning of the physical body. And then Asil, I would invite you to say a little bit about your work, because some of the refinements and alignments that are delivered through you are very profound.
Sure. It's basically I'm considered a trance channel. I go into a trance state and once I'm in that trance state, I am a vessel, an avatar for higher consciousness forms, angelic beings, light beings, and higher forms of consciousness, like the collective of the Elohim. And the Elohim basically have said that they are actively assisting in humanity's evolutionary process. And this evolutionary process, which they also refer to as the ascension process of humanity, is such a significant chapter in human existence. So when they start to work and create these alignments, they are energetic alignments that they do on the entire group that's in the space. And these energetic alignments allow us to receive more energy without being destabilized. So when the energies on this planet are rising, we want to be able to go with that rising energy gracefully and not destabilize, right? So if some individuals are doing that work to align and realign and be able to build greater capacity, then we can be anchors for the energy that's coming in, that's rising.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I would say our mission when we come together with the Stargate and with Asil being an anchor, an avatar for these celestial beings, like our co-creative energy is actually bringing our communities together as well. Because every single person is, like, as you say, an anchor. And as we start to tap into our higher consciousness, we have this phenomena that occurs, which we've felt every time we've worked together, which is that there's this like this synergistic energetic effect where it's like this wave of expanded consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Times and energies have shifted in the on the planet very recently. And last year when we did Accelerated Ascension, we had an amazing time. And we actually have a clip of some of the experiences that perhaps we'd like to share with you, just to give you a taste of what happened last year. And I just want to say that this year, already we're riding on those old energetics and so much more. It's like it's waiting. It's waiting to be brought in. So maybe we can show that clip now.
Mm-hmm.
We have come together to create this support mechanism, which these fellows are calling accelerated ascension. What does this mean? It is for you to understand that you are far more than you have been living.
This is a new foundation that will be established in your being. A new foundation of presence. A new foundation of perceiving yourself and perceiving others.
You have always been connected to Spirit. You are Spirit incarnate. But you have chosen this journey of apparent separateness simply for the joy of experiencing this beautiful physical dimension. And now, slowly, you are being called home.
Because we are coming into a place of the so-called ascension process, of this acceleration, some of these existing constructs are changing. So the way we used to learn and realize is now shifting into a more accelerated and a quickened way of learning.
As we're all moving into this beautiful coherence, let's move together now. So just allowing your focus to broaden once again to the thousands of people in this moment of now. I'm just so curious how many of you are feeling that bond with your higher self in that last session. Just like, yeah.
Most people, yeah.
relaxing, reconnecting.
And so now we invite each one of you to ask for an etheric Stargate, the consciousness of the Stargate, to come down around you.
The transmission following will utilize this template and allow you to sense the greater capacity, the potential, and the love that is possible within the human form.
And so we're inviting you to participate in something grand.
And we are in Nosara at the Blue Spirit Retreat Center, and it's so amazing here.
We love you. We honor you greatly. And we will be back with you again. Yay, that brings back happy memories.
Very much so.
So those were clips from our last Accelerated Ascension, which was actually the very first one, which happened from Costa Rica. And the next one we're doing is from Glastonbury. So
Another important power spot.
yeah.
We also have a couple of people here who've experienced both the Ascension 1 energetics and the Stargate energetics. And they're going to share just a few words about their experience and their thoughts about how these energies have touched them in their lives.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Asil. Hey, Prageet. Hey, Julieanne.
Welcome.
Yeah, it was really nice to see those clips of Blue Spirit in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
It just brought that amazing experience back, huh? Wow. Yeah, I was there, and it was such a powerful experience being in that container of space with the three of you and with everyone else with that focused intention to really connect really deeply into that space where access to our superconscious higher self and the guides is so palpable and so potent, so accessible. And through that alignment, as Asil was saying, you're holding that space, you're increasing that energetic capacity within that retreat space through session after session after session. The energy gets deeper and deeper and wider and more expansive. And I think by those last sessions, you're just like, where am I? What's going on? It's so beautiful. And then the lasting effects of that, the ability to really connect into that place moving forward and seeing how that practice sustains and transforms your idea of who you are and consciousness itself. And it just the effects just keep going on. It's a rippling effect. And so it's amazing, and I'm super grateful that I was able to be a part of that, and super looking forward to the Glastonbury as well. So love the work together, love the synergy of the three of you. It just felt so supportive, and it was almost as if like, with the Stargate, with Asil, with the Elohim, even the question and answer, was amazing. I asked a question, was able to get different perspectives from the different guides, and it would all fit together perfectly. And so just very grateful for that experience and super looking forward to the next one.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. We look forward to having you.
Yeah. So I believe we have someone else who's going to share their experiences also. There she is. Hi.
Hello, everyone. Hi. I just want to express my deep gratitude to the three of you to your guides and to the channels that you are, because this work, the combination of your work has had such a profound and lasting effect on my being and my life. I'm so grateful. The first time I experienced your collaboration was actually Lionsgate 88 in 2020. And when I felt that energy coming through, I had just purchased my Stargate. It just arrived in my home the day before. And I was like, I'm strapped in, I'm ready to go. And I was just blown away by the energy that came through the live stream of that experience. And I was like, this is the energy I've been looking for my whole life. And I knew at a core level it was going to change my life, and it has, because every time you've come together for the Superconscious Heart, for Costa Rica last year, I feel like it's been this super fuel of like a catalyst for my growth process. Every time I experience the energy, I feel like I walk away more aligned in my being, more conscious of myself beyond just my physical body and beyond my mind. I really feel like my full being as a human. And the experience from Costa Rica last year helped me realize that we are these energy beings. And it expanded me to a point where now every time I go into a meditation, I feel this connection to the higher realms, to the guides, and to everyone else that's in that meditation in that moment of now. And it's so beautiful. It's changed my life for the better. I do feel like I'm truly a better human being today for having experienced the work through the three of you than before. And I'm just really thankful to have found this community, because I do feel like we're evolving as a collective and as a community. And I feel truly supported by all the other people on this journey together. And I don't feel like I'm alone. I'm doing it alone. We're doing it together and evolving together. So I just want to thank you so much for all that you do to bring this work through, because it's really, it's helped me in my life on so many levels. So thank you.
Beautiful. I've got a question for you. It's perhaps a difficult question to answer, but can you give a more of a practical answer to how it's changed your life? What's different?
Yeah. So the difference is I've had many personal challenges over the last 2 years during COVID, like family challenges, relationship challenges. I actually was able to, given the tools and the experience it gave me, work through those challenges with so much love in my heart and presence, in a way that I don't think I would have been able to do that without this work. Like, it really has helped me be aware of my patterns and how to be like a better human being in all of my relationships. So
Far out.
it's been very
Well
practical.
done.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
That sounds great. Thank you, Denise. Wow. Yeah, it was quite something. We always have some individuals that are willing to travel to join us in person, and of course we always welcome that. But travel is not always possible for everyone. Therefore, there is a live stream of the entire event, and you'd be able to join among thousands of participants online, live, and the energetics of a live stream are very palpable. Both Stargate as well as Ascension One, we have big communities, and we deliver most of our work online. And it is indeed, at least from the reflections of our community, very palpable, very visceral, and very impactful. So even if you cannot be there in person, you will get a significant benefit from it.
And also something that's very magical about the level that we're working at. We're not just working in the physical, we're actually functioning from the quantum field. And in that space, when these energies go out, it doesn't matter where you are or even when you're tuning in to these transmissions. You can be watching the recording weeks later, and the energy is just as strong because it's out of time. It's not in a physical place. It's in the quantum field. And initially, that seems a little bit strange, but as people start to experience it, then we really start to feel incredible gratitude that we can connect into these energies. The recordings that you'll see are recordings of the images and the voice, but the energy that you feel is a response to you in the moment. So these energies are always individualized, whether you're with us physically in Glastonbury or whether you're observing, participating online. So we welcome you in whichever way you feel to join us.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you guys received a lot of emails about people that have watched Accelerated Ascension after the event had been done, or people that have rewatched it multiple times. We still get, mind blown emails.
Yes.
Basically, people writing us saying, "Wow, I just came across this. I just did the whole thing, and I'm just, sign me up." So I do believe that there is something really powerful going on that enables us to witness this reality with greater power, with greater alignment, and with greater love. And I believe that if more humans go through this process, then we will have the support that we need to get all of humanity through this experience.
And this experience, it's accelerated ascension is not about hard work. It's about relaxing. It's about allowing the energies that the guides are going to bring, the information, the insight that allows our minds to open enough to say, wow, is that possible? And then when we get to that, is that possible? Then the energy comes in and we experience this new reality. It's incredible.
Yeah. And as Denise said, this really is about us coming into contact with our beingness. It's about us suddenly having the direct experience of ourselves as energetic beings that are connected to all of these different spiritual realms and dimensions, and like the whole universe suddenly opens up to us, not because we're hearing about it from some other source that's an authority, but because we're actually tapping into the quantum field. So it's something that we can talk about, but you really have to experience it for yourself. And the next live stream that we're going to do, we're actually going to be in person in Glastonbury transmitting these energies. So I would encourage everyone to definitely, if you're curious about this, tune into that transmission. Right now, we're going to move into a more direct form of receiving guidance, and guidance specifically about what the ascension process is all about.
So we have some questions. So if we can start.
Hey,
there she
Crystal.
is, magically
Hello, everyone.
appearing
Hello,
from
Crystal.
quantum.
I have materialized in human form to ask questions. Well, before we get to the big questions, there is one question that somebody does ask. I think this is pretty valid for those who are joining new, is if someone has not done the first Ascension workshop, will it be okay if they attend the second?
Well, the answer is simple. Yes, it's definitely okay, because that energetic field that's already been created, as soon as you come into it, in fact, if you're a little sensitive, that field is here now. I can feel it. Just by mentioning it, we connect into it. So yes, it's absolutely okay to come to the part 2, because the frequency, the support, the energy is in the field. And so as you relax into this new experience, all that's gone before is available.
It's a wave of consciousness. It will scoop you up wherever you are and carry you.
Yeah, it's hard to put it into words, but that's the reality. We've known this over many, many years of experiencing. It all builds on what has gone before. So whenever you come in, It's available to you. All you need to be is open to the possibility and to relax into the energies. So
All
that's a
right.
great question. Thank you.
Yes, you heard it first here. Everyone is welcome. So now on to the bigger questions. The first one is, what specifically does ascension mean? What are we talking about here?
Do you want to take that one, Asil?
Well, I can try. It's a big question. I'll do my best. So, in a nutshell, the ascension process of humanity is a specific period that we are going through and our evolutionary process, not just our evolution as biological beings on this earth, but the evolution of consciousness, the evolution as a collective. And in this evolutionary process, which is seemingly fueled by rising energies and rising frequencies on this earth, we will get to experience different things, different aspects of being human. And these aspects are a greater awareness, a greater understanding, greater perspective of reality, a greater understanding of collective existence. We are individualized beings, but we are part of a collective, of a consciousness collective, the human consciousness. And so, from a non dual experience, we start to reach more into, from a dualistic experience, we start to reach more into non dual experiences. And we start to have both our perception in the non dual as well as in the dual perspectives. And that allows us to perceive the collective, to feel as a collective, to operate as a collective. And this process is the ascension process.
So another way of looking at it is that very often people think of the word of ascension as going up, or Jesus ascending into heaven is a concept that many people have heard about. For us, ascending is about raising your own individual energetic. It's bringing your energies up to a place where you can observe the reality that you're in, the non-dual, as Asil was saying, or oneness, as Alcazar calls it. Right now, we are in an energetic of duality, and slowly, slowly, humanity will be moving into oneness. It's not going to happen instantly. It's going to be happening probably over generations. But basically, it's about being able to move above the duality so that on an individual level, you can look at what's happening in the world and not be on this side or that side, not be part of the conflict, not be part of the separation, but start to understand that as you rise above that dualistic way of looking at things into the oneness, there's suddenly a deep mental understanding and then a compassionate understanding of what's happening. And as you become more conscious, more aware with this ascension process, then you're not affected by the various conflicts that happen around you in your daily life. And you can start to operate, as you've already heard from a couple of the comments, you start to operate from a very compassionate place. Your vibration remains higher, and you start to affect those in your world by the change in your energy. And as a community, we create a very strong field of change. And we start to affect the global reality, even though we don't see how that effect is directly happening. But the accelerated ascension process is taking a group of us on a very rapid transformational experience on a personal level and a group gathering
Yeah, and to me, that collective energy, it really does have the ability to fuel our individual journey in these radical ways. And so to me, the ascension process, what Alcazar defines it as, is it's not actually escaping this reality and going somewhere else, turning into a ball of light. It's actually about bringing who you truly are here to the planet. And another way of thinking of that is it's about waking up so that we can truly play in this reality, so that we can actually feel the higher faculties that are actually like a part of our humanness, but undiscovered. And undiscovered for eons, because as far as our mythologies go in the New Age, we have these stories of times on Earth, like Atlantis and Lemuria, when human beings, Alcazar says in Lemuria, we actually had the ability to raise our frequency and physically disappear from this dimension. We could actually communicate and commune with other civilizations around the universe just telepathically. And so there are these latent abilities that we have within us. And we were actually all surprised in Costa Rica when through Asil, there were these Ascension Templates that started to awaken. And I know that's something that we wanted to talk about today.
Would you like to say a few words about that? Asil, as we've...
Like, what is an Ascension
Do we
Template?
talk about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was quite surprising because I did not expect it, and this is the interesting thing about channeling. I don't always know what's going to come through, and you guys probably
Yes.
don't know. You know, there could be like a great surprise in there that, you know, we are, you know, as it's coming out of me, I'm listening to it. I'm like, wow, this is not. I've never heard this before. So the guides basically talked about Ascension Templates being within the human form and being activated when the energy levels rise. And this is a perfect time for the activation of the Ascension Templates within our bodies. Now, what happens when these are activated? That's the bigger question, right? So what happens if there is a dormant template within us that's now being active? So it's like having a new engine in your car in some ways, right? Being able to receive the greater energies of our environment, being able to perceive with greater sensitivity what is occurring outside of us, not just physically and what we feel with our human senses, but with our consciousness. Being able to be connected with our consciousness to other people, to other places, maybe even to other dimensions. So our abilities to operate this human form is being vastly extended and augmented. And that to me it's almost like something out of superhero movies, you know? But it's like you are all superheroes in that sense. Like all of you that are watching here, you have these templates within you. It's just a matter of finding the time, the energy, and the silence to actually tap into it and being able to have it activated and being able to operate it.
100%. I love it. That reminds me, actually, like years ago, we were in Ibiza, Spain, and there was this young kid there. He was like probably like 20 at the time. And he was like, you got to help me. Like, I don't believe in any of this stuff, but I feel like a superhero in these meditations. And it's like, but this is real, like, because we all actually do. Like, every one of us is unique. We all have these like latent gifts. And if you're curious about what they are, like, so often the clues are in our childhood. Like, when I was a kid, I thought I should be able to surround my energy with living things and bring balance. And then I learned that wasn't real. And then I like got into like swimming in these multidimensional frequencies, and I was like, oh no, this is actually very real. So
there's much waiting for us.
There is, and
when
I
we
can feel
open up.
the guides waiting for us right
so
now.
You have another question, Crystal?
Oh yes, we have a bunch. Our next question equally as weighty. Why is humanity going through an ascension process, and why is it important?
Okay, well, as our scientists tell us, the universe is expanding. Consciousness is also expanding because it's all part of the greater whole. There are many, many life forms on different planetary civilizations that have been through a similar process, and they have moved from deep unconsciousness, where we've been at, into that state that we call enlightenment, not just as individuals, but as a society. Their whole society is enlightened. And this has happened millions of years ago on our earthly time frame. So these beings are also available to assist humanity in its transformation. So what's happening here on the earth is the continued expansion of consciousness. Many, many years ago, humanity was not a conscious being. It was just another animal form. Then it was decided consciousness would be brought here. Alcazar has said it came with the Pleiadians. They came and they assisted us. And other star families, as we call it, assisted in that process. So humanity became conscious. And this is a process that we've been living for 100, maybe more, lifetimes. Because the real you is not the body. The real you is what Alcazar calls your superconscious being, or your soul, some people like to call it, or your higher self. And that aspect moves from body to body to body, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So this process of awakening has actually been happening over many lifetimes. Now is the time when it starts to accelerate. Alcazar has said in the past that human consciousness has traveled like this, very, very slowly getting clearer. And now we are going like this. We are about to go, and that's what the acceleration is about. And Accelerated Ascension, this program that's being offered, is to assist a group of people to do this very consciously, intending to work together. And what that's doing is, in a sense, creating a template for more and more of humanity to make this ascension individually and as groups more easily, more readily. So it's important simply because this is what's happening. It's beyond us individually. It's spirit, it's consciousness in the process of growing beyond what it's been before. And Alcazar has said there are things that are going to be happening here on the earth that have never happened before out there in the universe. And so the whole universe is watching and wanting to support. So that's a little taste.
Yeah, well, Asil, I'm curious. I know your guides have said things before about this timeline that we're on, and why Ascension now from your perspective?
I think we have come from some of the transmissions that we have received. We have come as a human consciousness to a level of maturity. Now, you may look around and say, like, I don't think we're very mature, but I do believe that from their perspective, that we have come to a place of maturity and to a place of diversified experiments. So we are like almost 8 billion people on this planet living individualized lives, having millions of moments in our lives experiencing the human form. And with every single moment, with every single interaction experience, the individual consciousness as well as the collective consciousness evolves. So this evolution has been going on, and as we're becoming more and more aware of that, and as the energies are rising, there is an acceleration of this maturation process happening. And so they're basically saying Well, now is the time. Now is the time. We are a chick about to break free from its egg, coming through its incubation process, completing its incubation process. And they speak very often as this place and this experience that we're having is like an incubation. So I just believe it is time.
Mhm.
And now, because I've been saying that, beloveds, it is time. It is time to know yourself. It is time to be free.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Bring it on.
Beautiful.
Well, that leads into another question about why do we have to participate in it, and does everyone participate in it? Some people don't necessarily believe it, right? They're
You
not
don't
on board.
you don't have to believe it, but it's still happening. You don't have to consciously take part in it, but it's still happening. It's like you don't have to believe that the earth is flat. This is going back in consciousness. You used to believe the earth is flat and you'd fall off the edge if you went too far. So it's like consciousness is growing, scientific understanding is growing, and science, leading edge science, takes what we're saying and totally agrees with it. This is not something that is outside of our scientific realm anymore. So we have a choice individually. We can say, okay, this sounds interesting. I'm going to explore this. And you start to benefit from these experiences. Or you simply stay in the reality that we find ourselves in the third dimension. You get jumps and chaos and all the different things that are happening in the world, which can very possibly get a lot worse before the change happens. So it's, how do you want to evolve? Do you want to evolve with ease and grace? Do you want to take a little bit of time to experience, to experiment, to check it out? Or do you just want to wait until you are forced by the changes of nature, the very changes that are happening on the planet, whether we want to or not? Those energies force you into looking at something new. Because many of the scientists have said we're already on the verge of the sixth extinction here. And it doesn't have to be as bad as it might sound. Change is happening. And let's go into it joyfully and willingly. And the more of us that do, the easier it becomes for the rest of humanity.
That's absolutely true. Also, from my personal experience, I'd say going through life unconsciously has not been very fulfilling. It's a bit like knowing that there is so much happening and being blind to it in some ways, being ignorant to it in some ways. But there's an intrinsic urge to wanting to see, feel, experience more of what reality is. And I think that intrinsic urge is the same one that wants to evolve, that wants to go through a consciousness evolutionary process, that wants to experience more than just a human body. And I'm sure even those that don't believe have had experiences like this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And everyone finds their own way into understanding reality or finding stability in challenging times and turbulent times and so on. This is one way in which we are getting support from higher realms to navigate the change of reality and the change that we're going through as humanity. And I think we are incredibly blessed and honored to be part of this process and to be part of this support system. It's it's changed everything about my life and those that have been part of this.
Yeah. And just to flip the whole concept on its head, like maybe the real miracle of this reality is that we're able to forget who we actually are. Because if you if you've had a taste of experiencing your beingness, if you've ever had that flowering of your awareness into like, whoa, we are so much more, it's actually kind of incredible if that's the true nature of who we are, that we're able to veil ourselves so precisely and we're able to like experience this awakening process so gently. And so the question of like, do we have to go through this, or do we have to participate in it, or can we just let everyone else do it and then hop on board at the last minute? It's like, yeah, you actually could. Like, if you really wanted to, you could just sit back, let everyone else do the work, and then just like come to a Stargate and Ascension 1 event in 10 years when when the energy field is just so potent that you just step into it and all your limitations fall away and you just are like bathed in the energy of enlightenment. And those of us who have had a taste, like Asil, like you said, it really is like intrinsically motivating. It's like we just want more. Like I'm here doing this work because I want to know where this journey is taking me.
And if you wait 10 years, it could be a very rocky 10 years.
That's true too.
So,
You get so refreshed in these energy fields.
yeah, great.
Yeah.
How
So
about
we
the first
did
week of June?
The first week of June, yeah, come with us the first week of June. You can experience this like collective wave and where it can take you for yourself.
And I
So
have to say, like, there is a piece here that, you know, while you as an individual might be wanting to go through this, or you have questions, or you have concerns, or you wonder what that's like to go, it's not just you going through it. It's really, there is an energetic connection that's established in this work where you will feel what it feels like to be in a oneness experience, in a oneness consciousness. And I do believe that the ascension process is very much connected into understanding what this oneness is. And so I believe understanding this interconnected nature that we have and that we are is a significant benefit of doing this work together, not just individually by yourself.
Yeah, there's a great sense of togetherness as we do this work. You know, people are all over the planet and they tune in together. And we've had so many comments saying, I've been so isolated these last couple of years, but I don't feel alone because I have this family. And this is so much what this process is about. It's about supporting each one of us, not to feel alone, but to feel the energy from the community as well as from the other dimensional support.
Yeah, and also quite literally feeling that our humanness isn't the only part of us. Like part of that energetic construct, like the container that holds us when we come into these energy fields, it's our own self. It is our own greater self. And the humanness gets to just relax and be carried by this like current of energy. That's your own super consciousness.
Yay.
So yeah, feeling like you're not alone is profound.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think this may be one last question.
All right.
Why are we doing this in Glastonbury? And what is the connection between power centers and the ascension process? Is there a connection?
Absolutely. Looked like you were going to say something, Asil.
I was going to say, what do you think, Julieanne?
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I think that's a question for the guides, if we could bring them through. Yeah.
Beloved ones, Your earth is a being. Your earth has a consciousness. You often call her Gaia or Gaia. And just as you have certain centers within your own physical body, so does the earth. There are so-called power spots around your earth, places where there is a natural, strong, energetic. There are many around your world. Your indigenous people are very aware of these power places. This one, Asil, part of his function has been to go to many of these power places around your world and to cleanse them, in a sense, to assist them in being more active, to clear some of the old energetics that have been associated with those places. This, your Glastonbury, is a very interesting place. This area is a place where some of the energetics of the earth flow, the so-called ley lines of energy. Glastonbury is on a very beautiful energetic ley line. It is a power place in its own right. It is a place where the veils between the dimensions are much thinner. And so it is easier in those places to transition your awareness from the physical into some of the other realities. That is why this Avalon, as many people are aware of, can be accessed more easily from that place. This, your Mount Shasta, is another place where the veils are much thinner. The realms are closer, more easily accessed. And so it is no accident that this place has been chosen. It is a place that can assist you in your acceleration into other realities, this ascension process that you call it. And so by anchoring these energies in this place of Glastonbury, you are, as you bring these energetics to the planet, as you open your hearts and your centers to receive the energies that will be brought to you, you are anchoring them in this field of Glastonbury. And those energies will flow through these energetic lines and will be blessing the earth and blessing humanity.
And so, beloved ones, this, your area of Glastonbury, has historical relevance also. Your humanity, as you have heard, hinted at by these three, your humanity has gone through different epochs, eras of consciousness and wakefulness. You have been in your times of old, in civilizations where there is a very high energy field that enables the human beingness to function at a higher capacity, remembering who you truly are, remembering interdimensional voyaging, remembering that your consciousness is eternal. And then came the fall, the descent into unconsciousness. And you are now at this place, this acceleration, this turning point. Take a breath, feel what we are saying. There is a great momentum that we are bringing to you. The earth in this place of Glastonbury is already being prepared. There is a massive shift that is capable of occurring during these 3 days you will be together. And it has everything to do with the story arc of the awakefulness, the descent into unconsciousness, and the arising again. Your area of Glastonbury has also been through a similar arc. It is known to be an anchor, a touch point for the energies of Avalon. And yet these energies are all but withdrawn from your reality right now. There were times when the dimensional realms were so close at that place. There are stories of people actually being able to pass through the veils at certain key moments in time. And so there is a lineage that is held in your Glastonbury, a lineage that is held in a higher dimensional realm. There is a story of descending into the dark ages as well that has made its impact in that space. You will be going there to clear human history, to reclaim cosmic history, to reclaim what we are calling cosmic history is your true lineage of who you truly are. That which you forgot that enabled you to descend so far into unconsciousness. And yet that unconsciousness cannot truly permeate the depths of your beingness. And so it can, with these energetics, gently be released as you reconnect to the templates of who you truly are.
Greetings. We are Elohim. This earth itself, a home for human consciousness, allowed for you to explore the human form. And the earth itself as a consciousness evolved alongside with you. Yet the trajectory that you are on is accelerating so that you may evolve and complete this human experience, this evolutionary process, in its culmination, the ascension of humanity, is a significant event. And it starts with you discovering and opening yourself to the possibilities that are within you, the power and the potential, the connection and the expansion, the great awareness and the great presence of your being, activated through the power in certain places of this earth. The transmissions delivered will be fueled by the energy that moves through this particular place chosen for this event. And those of you will receive the benefit wherever you are, as the transmission will be delivered beyond this physical plane of existence. Your consciousness will serve as a bridge to communicate, to interact, to connect, to receive and to transmit, to collaborate in your own evolution. And through your collaboration as a community, as a congregation, all of humanity will receive the benefits of this work together. Thank you.
So this has been just an opportunity for your mind and perhaps for your sensitivity to begin to tune in to what's being offered. And our next presentation together is actually going to be from England. And we're going to give you an experience.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. We'll be tapping into those energies. So, those of you who are excited to join us and you already know you're in fully for this 3-day journey, you can go and sign up now. And what happens with events like this is the energies already start to work with you. Actually, even those of you who already know you're going to be joining us, can you feel that?
Yeah.
The image that I got during this last channel is like the ascension process being like coming up from the earth as like we're like releasing our history and all of this stuff. It's like releasing off of us, and then like the ascension energy is coming from above and like pulling us up. So it's like as we're shedding the weight, we're also being like lifted, like pulled in by the higher frequencies, and it's both of these things happening at once. So join us for an energetic transmission. We'll be together again in
Glastonbury.
Yeah.
June
And
4th.
June 4th, we're going to be tapping into these energetic frequencies together for the very first time. And so for us, it will be a kind of cohesion that will be giving us an entry point into the energetics of the whole event. So we welcome you to be there with us.
Yeah, it's another free experience. And whether or not you are going to join us, you can be here from Glastonbury and get a taste of what's going to come through. Yay.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's going to be potent, and I'm super excited about it, ready to, raise the roof in that sense.
Yeah.
So much love to everyone. Much love to
Yeah.
you, Asil, and thank you for all the team behind the scenes that have been making this possible. And we'll see you
Absolutely.
again soon. Yeah.
See you all very soon. Thank you, Prageet. Thank you, Julieanne. And blessings to all of you. See you on June 4th.
We love you. Bye-bye.